one. They do what they can. Got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. There's no need in keeping it low-key. I can carve up the D like a turkey or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the Jets. The coach will regret even letting them stay in the game. Team morale took a tumble. Next time be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just trying not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet. Treat the pocket like plastic. Here come the blitz, pass it. Got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings.
Dirty base. Look at me. Go. 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 Check. 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 Hey, check 24.
Now the former fourth-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage, stuff him in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about. Making that play, having leverage, lower than the offensive lineman, getting into the offensive backfield, knocking someone down. Just what you said, setting the tone early for this game.
Jeez, you are fired up.
When I see a play like that, I can't help it.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. From the gun, Eason. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 28. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. Well, certainly not how he wanted to start his night. First throw of the game, an INT.
Yeah, it's not easy, but he's got to try and wipe that one away from the memory banks. And let's face it, it's not often a quarterback and a defensive back have a lot in common. But one thing, because they have these individual-type plays, they've got to have short memories, don't they? DB gets beat, wipe it away, quarterback throws a pick, has to do that.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Now, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
On first down, Eason got this complete to the rookie out of UMass, Andy Isabella. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook. Pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often. One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You think being able to fire out and block would be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long.
Watch hard.
Looking to throw. Eason. And that will be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. Great blocking, nearly sprung him there. 28-yard return, and the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
How about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
On first down, they go right back to Cohen. Oh, Cohen lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Come on, baby.
They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20 and down to the 16-yard line. 18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first. Blocking at the point of attack there was very strong. He had a couple of running lanes.
And I never want to overlook the offensive line, but that's what they get paid to do. How about the quarterback? Everyone thinks all he's going to do is throw the football. His movement and deception can help a running game as well.
Flushed out right. And he's going to lose a yard or two. Taken down behind the line. The sack by Jordan Willis. Partner, we had their game last week where they had 6 sacks. So a little bit more momentum here again in the first quarter.
And last week it appeared that they were coming out of sprinters blocks, chasing the quarterback. So how do they continue that? How do they keep making it happen? Different looks, different disguises, different angles that they chase him.
They were so disruptive last week. We'll see what the trend is here as we go forward. They'll run on second down with Cohen. They showed off the athletic juke. Good little gain there. Not a whole lot of real estate, but a nice carry.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find.
And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Their mobile, agile quarterback with touchdown number 12 on the year. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
2nd and 11. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these team special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they just had that pick 6. I guess the only positive maybe than returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. To sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there. It's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it here. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Hey, Charlie.
Back to throw. Eason. And he will find his man on the outside. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all. And now they're looking at 3rd down here.
With the score, Bears 14, Vikings nothing.
Okay, ready? Rock it.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
They run it with Balaj. And he's able to pick up the 1st down here before he goes down at the 26. The drive stays alive. A 3rd down gain of 8. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting 3rd down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd. Five, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on 3rd down.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. One. 45.
Now it's the backup Mariota. That ball complete to Isabella. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Check 13. Check 13.
Toss play to Balaj. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's third down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
The Vikings on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. The Vikings on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
26, Mike, 26. Pick your game up. 26, Mike, 26, Mike. Too little, top catch. 26, Mike.
Mariota. He rifles one that's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it, and he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Hey, me and you all day. All day. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. 55, Mark, 55. Watch the run.
Here's King. Off play action. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. And yes, they want the points, so they will decline the penalty, no question there.
You don't think they spent a couple of seconds mulling over what the penalty would do for them?
I don't even know why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 21-0. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away.
We got this.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
Well, no, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
It's a loss of a yard.
On 2nd and 11 now. Mariota. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Off the play fake. King. Going up top for Miller. And this is taken in at the 5. It's a big-time play there for the Bears. 45 yards.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, and right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw exhibit Z right there. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. It's their quarterback. On his way to a monster game, 3 first-half touchdowns as the Bears push further out in front. The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. Oh, I was just about to say he had missed an extra point all season, but there it is. His first miss, no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. 5 yards on first down, but now just a 1 yard pickup there on second. Throwing, Mariota. And he's got his man on the out route. And they get him down, but not before. He takes it across the 40-yard line.
First and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Mariota now just 2 of 5 since coming on, but he does have a first down here. From the gun, Mariota rolling to his right. That's Cordero Patterson hauling it in. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10. From the shotgun, it's Mariota going up top. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Another dangerous throw there, partner. I mean, he's already thrown 2 interceptions here in the first half. I don't know if you want to keep throwing up 50-50 balls, and you've had that kind of lack of success.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well could have been a 3rd interception in half number 1.
26 Mike, 26 Mike. Get ready, get ready, get ready. 26 Mike, 27.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. This one caught by Isabella. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears 21. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half.
25, line, tight end to the right, boy, tight end to the right. One. 3 down. 26 Mike, 26 Mike.
First down, Mariota. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5.
45, Mike, 45.
Again, it's Mariota. Wide open receiver complete. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. They come out here in the I. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime.
Check one. Check 3. Watch the edge. 3.
Here's a run to Galage. And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. On 1st and 10, King. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Hassan Reddick able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
The keeper gets him 7 that time, but it'll lead to a 3rd down. Now this time he'll look to throw. The screen pass here to Cohen. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
On 1st and 10, here's Mariota. That's Isabella open on the right side. A swift move and then tackled just on the other side of midfield. A gain of 6 there on first.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the Bears' 49-yard line.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. They'll run here with Balaj. Oh, he's got a little daylight. The 20. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. And he takes us all the way down to the Bears' 14-yard line. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Motion, motion.
give right side. Rivers, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. On 2nd and 11 now. Mariota. This will be caught at about the 6. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air. Because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
Give him a gain of 4, able to convert, and that sets up 1st and goal now.
Check your hot read. He's mine, he's mine, he's mine.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and goal. Balaj. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Kalen Balaj with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. On for the extra point, Giorgio Tavecchio. It's up and good, and it makes it 27-7 now. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
I got you, son. I got you. You're all mine. You're all mine, baby. Get this. You're all mine. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. We got double up. Double up. Come on. 54 Mike. You ain't going nowhere.
They run. This is Cohen. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
He was brought down by Vic Beasley. It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 40-yard line.
1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Tighten up, tighten up.
Out of the gun, running with Cohen. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Hey, watch the ball, watch the ball.
King off the play fake. And Robinson with a big catch. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 42. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion, because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the fourth quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team.
Now King, off play action. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Hassan Reddick, his second sack of the night.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Looking to throw. King. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
Well, he bounced up after taking a sack and took a shot downfield. I think a lot of us thought maybe he'd run draw in that situation. Instead, tried to get all back in one play.
Yeah, 3rd and long, thought he needed the deep pass, couldn't connect it.
Maybe he was hoping for a penalty downfield to give him the yardage they needed.
And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. They'll stay on the ground. Balaj again. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Mariota now to throw on first down. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Now they'll run it with Cohen. He finds an opening past the 40 and all the way up to the 45-yard line.
He was brought down at the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 16 yards, but it brings up 3rd down.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a third down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And finally down at the 32-yard line. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up first. And pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. That one looks like he'll throw here. Wiggles free. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Jordan Willis able to record his 5th sack of the season. To throw is King. Throwing on 3rd and long. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. King now throwing on 4th down. He's got his tight end, Burton. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Back to throw. King flush to his, and that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Tariq Cohen, his 5th touchdown now on the year as the Bears push further out in front. Point after here coming up. And that stretches the lead to 27.
Makes the score Bears 34, Vikings 7. Sam Martin set to kick off.
And the Vikings able to recover. The hands team does its job. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number, kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. All smiles and high fives on that defensive sideline. That interception will cap off what was truly a tremendous performance.
Yeah, if you can hold a team to 7 points in the NFL, that's the kind of day that you feel really good about. Now, I do know a few guys are going to think to themselves, held them to 7. If we'd made one more play, could have had our shutout.
It's been a long day for you.
And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4.
Man left, man left. Hey, hey, hey. We got 3. We got 3. 3 down. 3 down.
And an alley to run. And a loose football.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
Here we go. Henry. Watch it, watch the run. Watch the run. Hurry. Baby, that's a baby shot.
And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. Now, that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the one touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game,
this ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the lag. Whole squad all dressing all black. Every single last one of them got my back. Hey, 20 of us, that's 20 goons in them. Ice cream whip, triple scoop. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm a highly favored. Don't wanna blame me though. No conversation, ain't got time for no debating. It's for the taking, no hesitation. Don't try my patience. I'ma pour out one for the set, boy, till there's nothing left. On a run to the bread until we all got them baguettes. Hear them footsteps coming, cause we coming for the check. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I could never switch, not a day in my life. Long as my dogs, they by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I could never switch, not a day in my life. As long as my dogs, they by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die. Yeah.